Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's live stream where me and Thomas are going to be talking about how to find an awesome print-on-demand designer. Because without some crucial winning designs, it's going to be hard to make the big bucks scaling them, right? So, Thomas, thanks for joining us. How are you?
Hello, Aidan. I'm fine, thanks. I hope you're doing well, and everybody out there in the internet, in the internet. Indeed, today's topic is one of the most important things. So,
Yeah.
Moteefe, we've got the products ready to go, ready to print, ready to ship. What do you need? You need a design. That's the crucial part. So even if you're a designer yourself, or as many people think they are, a designer, but you're not really. So but even if you are a designer, and even if you can design some of the things yourself, and you want to design some of the things yourself, and that's what excites you about it, becoming a content creator, and then bringing those ideas through your own hands and mouse and keyboard and iPad and device to life, and then bringing them to market, you're still much better off to build a scalable business, to really maximize what you're doing, to work with a designer. And the reason for that is, one, you can't do everything yourself. You've got to come up with the ideas. You've got to build the campaigns. You've got to scale the campaigns, launch the ads, scale the ads, all of this stuff. Okay, yes, Moteefe does handle all of the customer services and that side of it, but still, just in the creation process, if you're working with somebody that you know can produce designs that sell, and it's always best to have a longer term relationship with this person. So you bring them into sort of work for you more directly with a monthly contract or a certain amount of designs that you commit to every month. Then you're committed to producing the ideas so that they're not just sitting around doing nothing. You've got a constant supply of new things to try, new designs to try, and it keeps you accountable to somebody. And it really is the only way to go above a certain level. No matter how good a designer you are or how fast, there's still a maximum output that you can give. And once you work with someone for a while and really explain what exactly you're looking for over a few designs, that's when you see the massive success. And that's really what drives, what makes the difference, and what really drives the true success. So definitely a designer is what you need.
Yeah, and just to go back on the importance of the designs, right? Most people in the world have got a t-shirt, have got a hoodie already, but the reason why they'll buy yours is because of that design, right? That's what sets it apart from what they've already got in their wardrobe.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
That's the crucial part. It's the design, and also it's the volume of designs that you can put out. So you want to be concentrating yourself on coming up with the original concepts, or adapting concepts that are already out there into a new niche that hasn't been tried before, getting those translations done and ready, and feeding those through to a designer that can work away in the background, send you the artwork, and then bang, you're ready to go. And that really is the key. So you could run more and more stores in more niches by using this model, and really scale up even in the single niche. And so this is how you go to those levels where you see people doing, last year we had a spring contest last year. The top prize was a Lamborghini. We gave away 2 Lamborghinis last year. If you want to get to that level, this is the only way to get there. I guarantee that the people that were doing that weren't using all of their designs that they'd made themselves. They were leveraging the talents of other people around you. So you've got to make a decision. Do you want to be a mini metro seller, or do you want to be a Lamborghini seller? Because if you want to be a Lamborghini seller, then you've got to make the adjustments. You've got to set that as a target, and then you've got to really understand what it takes to get to that level. And it is doable. As I say, it wasn't just one, it was 2 sellers last year, but there was certainly a massive gap between the sellers that we know that are working in teams and with other people, versus the sellers that are just trying to get everything done themselves, especially if you're working, you've got children, you've got other distractions. You can't give this your full-time priority right now. That's where you can become a Lamborghini seller.
I think there's also an unsaid advantage about testing loads, more than one design at one time, right? Because say if you're trying a new niche and you go in with trying one design, that design might be great or it might be terrible. You don't know. But if you go in a new niche and you try 5 different designs, you've got something to at least compare against, right, Thomas? I'm guessing that's obviously going to help you in figuring out what a good design look like, what a winner looks like, and what a potentially not so good one looks like.
Absolutely. So you should be testing these designs that you're getting from your new designer on a Facebook page or an Instagram account or somewhere where you can get some feedback on these things early on before you start running traffic to it and paid traffic. Also, you've got email lists. So I wouldn't just send out every new design to your email list, because basically you're spamming them then at that point with stuff that you've got no idea whether they're interested in. But you can certainly send it out to a very small proportion of your list, just as a little bit of a test, 25 people here or there, not the same people every time, because they'll soon get upset with you just sending sort of random stuff to them. But once you've got this, so if you are using a white label store, as we recommend with Moteefe, you do have access to your previous buyers' email addresses, and this then you can leverage for email marketing. So you might not, there's a difference between interruption marketing on a platform like Facebook, where you're running ads, people are scrolling through, they're looking to check up on their partner or ex-partner, or maybe they are, I don't know if they're allowed to do this, but I think it's probably a primary use case, or baby photos, or they're looking to complain about some political thing or whatever they're there. What they're not there for, or at least they don't realize they're there for, is to buy one of your designs. But they're scrolling through at 100 miles an hour, bang, they see your design, and all of a sudden they bought it. There's not a lot of thought going into that process from their side. It's a very primal instinct. Whereas email marketing, they know that it's coming from you. They know that you're selling print on demand or designs. They're opening it with an intent to have a look. There's a different process. So there's a different type of design, in fact, that sells via email marketing versus via interruption marketing or paid advertising in general. And then you've also got the people that are returning to your store. So you will see certain designs within a store that sell from organic browsing, if you will, or cross browsing, where they come in from one product that you're running traffic to, then they go to the store and then they look at the other products, and then people buy that product. But when you try and run traffic to that, for some reason it doesn't resonate with the paid audience. There's different levels and different designs that work in different places, and working with a designer will be able to give you the freedom and the scope to really optimize all of those avenues. And the same with cross-sell design. So at Moteefe, if you can set up a campaign, a product, and then when people click to add that product to the basket, they're shown two other products. We call them these cross-sell products. And again, cross-sell products, they wouldn't necessarily be successful when you're running traffic to them, because they might be a mug, or you might put them at a lower price, so people are more likely to buy them. And they might be complementary designs, or designs that are in opposition almost to the other one, oppose. So maybe one's for a man, and then the cross sells to a woman, or kids, or brothers, sisters, that kind of thing. Those designs, optimizing those can make a real big difference, because people can add them as they're buying the original design. And the optimization of those things is a completely different process. And you might need to churn it. You've got one winning product that's doing really well. You want to quickly try a lot of different cross-sell products to see what's going to work. And really working with a designer is the only pathway to doing that.
Yeah. And I suppose once you do find something within that niche that is doing well, when you do try other things, you can use that good selling design as an attachment onto it, right? Because that could be a good thing to bump up the order value, right?
Indeed.
No, that makes complete sense to me. Some really good key points there. A few people saying hello. Dylan, hello. I saw your message, and if you feel free to direct message me your store, and I'll take a look and tell you what we think of it and give you some feedback on that for sure. Just pop with that message. And for anyone who is new to the live stream or new to print on demand, what I'm going to do in the comments, I'm going to put a link to moteefe.school, which is a completely free course on how to get selling on print on demand. And it was created by none other than our very own Mr. Thomas Gentleman.
Indeed, it was. So I hope it's of some value to you. I know that a lot of people we've had some very positive feedback on it, and thank you very much for those that have taken the time to send that feedback through to Aidan. That's where the feedback goes. Let's be real. So get on it. I think there's a lot of value to be had, if I do say so myself, and I just did. So there we are. Get on there, have a look, check it out. how to run successful Facebook ads and a bit of basic POD, or not basic POD, but fundamental POD advice within that course as well, shall we say. So do jump on that. And while you're doing that, you should be finding a designer. So Aidan, where should these good people look for a designer to work with? I know that you've got a couple of suggestions, and one of our favorites as well, a perennial good designer that we do highly recommend.
So we'll start with the one that we all know, right? The one that's probably on the tips of all the tongues, Fiverr. Good thing is it's not overly expensive. Bad thing is the quality can vary massively.
And it's not a Fiverr anymore. You can pay up to $35 for a design. I've used it myself. If you're lucky, you can find someone on there. The disadvantages of Fiverr is it's a one and you're done. There's no long-term relationship building on Fiverr. So it's a tricky one, Fiverr. It does still represent some value. Don't expect to pay a Fiverr. And if you are paying a Fiverr, then you're probably not getting something that's great, but certainly worth having a checkout.
Yeah. Number two, I would say Upwork. Okay.
Upwork.
So Upwork, the benefits of that is it is more long term. You can speak and speak to someone over a long period of time. You can re-go and re-get that person back and use them again. However, it's slightly more expensive. So it's kind of the other end of the spectrum.
Well, it's not really slightly more expensive.
It depends who you pick, right?
It's not slightly more expensive, but if you enter into an agreement where you're regularly using somebody for artwork, which is where you want to get to. So my advice here would be to a couple of test ideas that you get somebody to make, and you make it clear within that proposal that you're looking for somebody to work with you long term. If you've already got a store up that you think has got good designs in it, then give them a reference. Or if you've got a store up and you think that the designs are no good, then you send them a link and you say, this is what I've currently got and I'm not happy enough with it. I want a higher quality output. So Upwork for me is more of a value proposition than Fiverr. So do get on there, open the dialogue with people, and see if you can find somebody. Next.
I think that just on that note, I think that is a big point there, is instead of paying someone, a cheap one-off to do you one design, ask them, do you have a portfolio of stuff you've done before? And then if you like the style, some you can, some you can't, right?
Well, always get them to do something original for you before you agree to any kind of a long-term commitment, because you've got no idea where that portfolio came from. I mean, it's the internet.
This is very true. Yes. Yeah.
So third and finally, Aidan, shout out to
T-Shirt Fella, which is a service which a number of sellers are using. The guys are based over in the Philippines. It is slightly more, but the level of quality to their artwork is some of the best I've seen. It's very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, he certainly knows what he's doing. So highly recommended if you check that out. And the importance of this is key. As again, even if you're a designer, even if you're a good designer, even if you're the best designer of t-shirts since Leonardo da Vinci, although I don't think he ever did a full t-shirt range.
He did a lot of stuff.
He likes silk leggings apparently, but anyway, that's a complete distraction. We don't do silk leggings yet, but it's on the list. So even if you're the greatest designer out there, you still can't design everything yourself. And in fact, the better designer you are, you shall have an eye for what other designers are capable of doing, and you should be able to find somebody to assist you fairly easily, and also be able to write good briefs, which is important. So you should research. This is quite actually important. Please do spend a moment to research how to write a brief. So Happy Cat t-shirt is not a brief. That's a collection of words that should never have appeared in that order in the first place. Whereas I want to have a t-shirt with an illustration of a black cat on it. The cat is holding a computer controller, smiling, yada yada yada. That's the way to go on. We're very detailed of every aspect of it, and then also here's a reference image for the style of illustration that I wish to receive, and here's a reference image for the style of font that I wish you to use, and the colors as well. That's a good brief.
That classic, a picture speaks 1,000 words, is a crucial. Just a sample image of something similar or that style does massively help, especially when I've been doing artwork briefs. And the simple thing that I see a lot of people in their briefs, or common
You've
mistake.
seen a lot of people in their briefs, Aidan. Anyway, we'll explore that later on.
I'm sure we will. Is people don't state what main color they want to sell that product on, right? So say if you say, I want this design, but you don't tell them it's going to be for black hoodies, but the text is in black, no one's going to see it.
Indeed. So check your briefs and get out there, find a designer. Okay, I think we've covered this in detail. You know what to do. Actions for this weekend. Get out there, look around in the market, find yourself a couple of designers that you think you can work with. Write 2 good briefs and then send those briefs to the designers and see what they come back with. Get a reasonable price for those. And if you can find somebody, ask them to make sure that they've got the capacity to work with you long time. You'll have an idea of how many designs that you might want to start with. So it could be 10 designs a month to begin with. That's a fine starting point. 5 designs, okay, that's a little low, but if you've got budget issues, 5 designs, I'd say, would be the minimum per month as a commitment. And then if you're going to go for it, then 50 or 100, it's not beyond the possibility to go in there, but you just scale up as you go through. So get out there, find a designer, get designing, get selling. This is the way to be a Lamborghini seller rather than a Mini Metro seller. Other car brands are available, and nothing wrong with a good solid British Mini Metro either, but
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing all of your Valentine's Day designs. Smash it, guys, because it's getting towards that crunch time. And on that note, I would like you to all stay safe and tune in next week when I'm sure we'll have more key points and key things to keep an eye on. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.